Welcome to the final episode of our Snowy Mountains road trip. Along the way, we've seen and done many interesting things, including visiting a cultural landmark, escaping from a prison,
Let's turn that.
exploring gold mine ruins, and tasting apple products straight from the orchard,
It's definitely apple country.
sampling gin and a few other alcohols as well, went underground for a self-guided cave tour, and dipped our toes into a thermal pool. And now the adventure continues. Hello from Cooma.
Hey.
Last time you saw us, we were in Adaminaby, so we've driven to Cooma, slept in a truck stop last night. I call that a cultural experience that everyone should try once.
Did a little stealth sleeping. So we woke up and got coffee. Found Canberra coffee in Cooma.
Yes, Honor Coffee is a worldwide prize-winning coffee that's based in Canberra, and we found a cafe that does it in Cooma. And it was good, delicious. And now we're at the top of Nanny Goat Hill, which is a lookout over Cooma, with, you guessed it, a nanny goat.
Yeah.
We also saw some blue-tongued lizards down there just a second ago,
We're heading to the Snowy Discovery Centre next.
where we'll hopefully learn about something that's institutional to Cooma's history, and the power of most of the country by the sounds of it.
It seems there used to be a flagpole here. Maybe they used to have the Nanny Goat flag to proclaim their kingdom on Nanny Goat Hill.
The original scheme. The red lines are power lines, some of them are transmission lines, some of them just take power into areas. White lines are roads.
So, this map on the ground here at Snowy Hydro kind of shows where we've been on this trip. There's about where I'm standing somewhere is going to go. Then there's Tumut. We drove past Flowery Dam, visited the Tumut 3 power station, which is definitely closely linked in with this. And then we took this white road here all the way down through here, past Adaminaby and to Cooma, where we are now. So the Snowy Hydro scheme is actually a renewable energy source scheme that started construction in the 40s and went for a couple of decades after that. It was originally drilled out by hand. It was slow going back then. The record progress for one person in a 6-day week was 160 metres, which is still pretty good going, I would say. But they're about to expand the scheme and they'll be using more modern methods when they do that.
Approximately 15 kilometers is excavated.
Here we have a model of a boring machine. Absolutely massive. This is what they will use to build Snowy 2.0. Better technology than the 50s. So originally they would have used the drill and blast method, or picks and shovels, worst case. On the new 2.0 scheme, they'll use this marvellous piece of gear.
The Snowy Hydro scheme actually services most of the east coast of Australia. Its main aim is to back up the traditional power sources at the moment and going into the future to back up other renewable energy methods. That means that during peak demand, like when all the air conditioners are running in summer, the Snowy Hydro scheme picks up the slack.
The Snowies are great for water power generation because you've got the high mountains so the water can drop down. Gravity will help with that. But also the climate is great because water doesn't evaporate too easy in the cold. So that's another reason why there's plenty of water to go around for power generation.
The scheme is actually made up of several dams and power stations throughout all of this that work together to provide the water. And one of the guides before was saying that people think of Snowy Hydro as an electricity company, but it's actually more of a water management company. At peak demand moments, they can just flick a switch, send some water running and be providing power within 2 minutes, which is pretty impressive, especially when you think that this whole thing was conceived back in the 40s and they have been servicing Australia with backup power for 70 years. They are in the process of expanding the operation here and drilling another tunnel for expansion into the future, because as traditional energy sources like coal disappear, there'll be more renewable energy needed, and Snowy Hydro is preparing for the future. There's a screen over here where you can see real live energy markets, see the price of all the energy right now, and also a board where it shows you what parts of the power stations are currently in use, because as I said before, you flick a switch and use the part that you need at that time, and those ones show up red on the diagram. As part of our road trip, we actually drove past Tumut 3 power station and saw the giant pipes running up the hill there. Tumut 3 is actually the biggest part of Snowy Hydro, and we stopped in and had a little look around there on our way here, but we didn't know too much about it at that point. So I'm glad that we had the chance to come to the Discovery Centre here in Cooma so that we could find out more. And it's really quite an impressive project, I think. There's so much to see in this little room here and in the presentation that they give you, so you should really just come here if you're ever in Cooma and learn all about it.
So we have Mount Numarella. Sydney's 363 k's that way. 336 k's even. What do we got? Adaminaby, Tumut, Mount Kosciuszko behind us.
So Snowy Hydro was actually really cool. I'm glad that we went and the staff was so helpful. I actually have a friend who works for Snowy Hydro and helped put that together. Maybe she gave them the heads up and that's why we were treated like celebrities, but they were just generally really nice. We saw them helping lots of other people as well, it wasn't just us. Now we're off at Mount Gladstone and you can see behind us here, in that direction is Canberra. We will be making our way back to Canberra later today after our little road trip through Gundagai, Tumut, the National Park and now finally to Cooma. But we've got 1 or 2 more stops planned before then. Oh, I should say that we did just have lunch at the Lot Cafe in town and they could do lots of their menu gluten-free, so that was very good for me and very good if any of you are also gluten-free. I've also heard that PD Murphy's does gluten-free, but I haven't been there, so I can't personally recommend.
It was very tasty, wasn't it?
It was all-day breakfast. It's the best kind of breakfast. We can also see from up here, there's a huge wrecking yard down there. I remember driving past it on the road. You can't miss it from up here. And also, the town of Cooma is over behind me. I think now we will head to Miss Heidi's tea house and see if they're open. Miss Heidi's is an Austrian tea house at the top of Mount Gladstone. It's a quirky place to stop in for some food and drink on your travels around Cooma. The inside gave us the warm fuzzies because it felt just like the buildings we visited in Austria, with the wooden log interiors and even a family speaking German in the corner. I was surprised to find that even the bathrooms felt cozy. Jessie and I have actually visited 22 countries together, and someday we might put together a compilation of the videos that we have from exploring all of those places. We are working on it, but it keeps getting pushed to the bottom of the pile. But hopefully someday we'll actually be able to go visit countries overseas again. They didn't have very much in the way of gluten-free food, so we just ordered some drinks.
In a glass, just like at home.
Jessie grabbed a cider and I grabbed a hot chocolate, and we sat back and enjoyed the Austrian ambience for a while. Welcome to the Brembo Christmas Barn. It's Christmas Wonderland! Oh my gosh, it's so good that we're here right before December. Perfect timing. So festive. We drive past this all the time on the way to the snow, but it's usually June, so we're not thinking about Christmas and we're in a hurry to get to the snow. I'm so glad we can finally come in. A festive iron? Even the staff don't even know what this is about. But she did say if her husband gave her this, she wouldn't be happy. It's even all colour-coded. It's an OCD dream, I swear. Tana?
Going to be a black Christmas.
it's a portal to Santa's actual workshop. Can we stay here forever? Coming from like a legit Austrian tea house to here, it almost feels like we've gone to a Christmas market and we're actually in Europe.
What's going on here?
I think this would be pretty cute because reindeer don't tow sleighs in Australia, kangaroos do.
Yeah, we'll get that. How'd you go in there?
Oh, mate. I think we were in there for over an hour. That was too good.
It was superb. Everything's color coded. You could just decide on a color scheme and just buy the whole section of the shop.
It felt like we were almost going to buy the whole section of the shop at the end.
Yeah, we had to pull ourselves away from it.
We've still got our fairly packed bag there though. Christmas is going to be fun. I think that's going to be it for this video. If you'd like to see more videos from us, hit subscribe down below, like this video if you liked it, and we'll see you in the next one. We will be making our way back to Canberra later today after our little road trip.